Hi guys, Chenge here. Welcome to my channel. Thank you so much for all the engagement in the last two videos. You guys like things. You guys like nyayas, and I'm here for it because I have plenty of stories to tell. So we did do a little Q&A and I spoke through my school experiences. And now we're going to talk about some of the jobs that I have gone through. I mean, it's just natural progression at this point, right? So, my very first job was in lower six. Guys, actually, I had my first job when I was 17 and it was in December. And I was working at Food World, Yemuna Mbuyanyand. Guys, it was chaotic. Like I was working as like a bagger. I don't know if that's the title, but anyway, that person will be putting groceries into plastic bags and then just making sure that there's order, and basically what we were told to do we would just do. So the thing with me is I take up opportunities. Like nothing is beneath me. And I think because growing up with my great grandmother, we would work a lot. So if you can work Mumunda, you can work anywhere. So I think for me, I was just open to the experience, and it was actually myself and some of my classmates at the time as well. So we were like distributed amongst the different food world branches at the time. And yeah, it was interesting. I did not like how women were treated in that environment. I remember there was a lady that was pregnant and, she was working the till and her feet would get so swollen, guys. And she would just have to do what she had to do because it's work at the end of the day. Now that I'm an adult, I get it. I understand that sometimes you just have to do what you have to do to provide for yourself and to provide for your families. But at the time, like, it wasn't a nice experience. And also because you are a child, you really get, yeah, the way you're treated, you aren't treated with respect. And that's just basic human decency. It's not to say that you want to be put on a pedestal or whatever, but you're disrespected, you are not considered, and you are constantly just being told what to do in like the most rudest of tones and all that. So I really remember that we had a dress code. We weren't allowed, yes, to wear trousers. I think we had to wear dresses and skirts, and they had to be a certain length. And guys, it was just weird. And then we would go and put our bags away, and I think we had to put our phones away as well. And the room that we would put them in, it wasn't even a room, guys. It was like somewhere, and it was such a dingy little place where you'd have to like crawl in and then put your stuff. And yeah, ah, it's a memory I don't mind not remembering anymore. But it also scared me. That experience scared me. And when I went back to school for upper six, I knew that I had to lock in and I had to actually take my education seriously because I was just like, I don't want to end up here. So it really scared me. And even if life had me end up there, I mean, it is what it is, right? But I'm so glad that I had that experience and that opportunity at that age to just see what real life actually looks like in that environment. And yeah, I'm so glad that life has just taken me on a different path. So that was job number one. Job number two, I was a life coach for a travel and tour company. I think I was there for like 2 years. I'm not too sure, but this was before I even went to college. So I was a life coach. We would do leadership camps, we would do tours, and I enjoyed it. I think at the time, because you're young and you're very gullible and naive, it's easy to take advantage of younger people, younger adults, because we don't know better. The experience was good because, like, I got to travel and I got to leave home. But looking back, I was just like, about $10 a day to deal with like 100 kids a day, and take up responsibilities that were so deep and impact young minds. I'm like, at this point, if I were to do that at this point in my life, you would be paying top dollar, or I would be doing it for free because I'm doing it for the out of the goodness of my heart. But it was interesting. I had some not so nice experiences with some of the people, but overally, generally, it was a good experience. It was a good learning experience. And I think it also sharpened my leadership skills because it just made me even more confident, seeing even years later, the kiddos that I took for camps, when they see me and they come back to me and they're like, oh, we had a really good experience with you when you took us for camp. So, I mean, it's a win-win, right? So that was good. So that was job number 2. And then job number 3, which wasn't really a job, but I guess it was a hustle. So I will say it was a job. No, before we get to the job, it was the attachment. I did mention this in the previous video, and this was at Nafuna TV. And I got to work in the media space. Guys, I got to interview Winky D in this lifetime. I need to look for that footage. Like, I still can't believe it. I'm sitting here and I'm just like, I've done some pretty cool things. Like, how many people can say they've had a conversation and an interview and have sat next to Winky D? I get to say that. Like, I need to look for that footage because it happened. I'm telling you, it happened. But I enjoyed it. And I think that was the time when social media was now starting to actually become a thing. So we were now getting into, social media management. So I really learned a lot at Nafuna TV. And I think it was a really good foundation for everything else that I did, later on. So that's job number 3 already. And then job number 4, which is what I'm saying was the hustle, was in my gap year. And I was dancing, of course. So I would perform. The very first artist I performed with was Amara Brown. Yo, guys, I have lived in this life. I have lived. It was interesting. It was fun. But, our dancers at that time would receive a lot of backlash because it wasn't a lot of us that were, performing with artists, and female artists at that. So you would just hear some slurs when you're on stage and people cussing you out, and you're just there like, I'm literally just here making the performance better, like what, like, what are you doing? So artists, I really hope that now artists are paying their dancers and their performing partners decent money, because it's work, guys. From rehearsals take up so much time, and then it's rehearsing by yourself, rehearsing with the people that you're dancing with, rehearsing with the artist, and then going for the event, waiting for your performance, and then giving your all on that performance, and then having to go back home. Yeah, it was just a lot. But because I love what I do, which is what I do now, I just enjoyed it. I just loved it. And Amara, she paid us well. At the time, I think we were getting like $50 a performance. And that was a lot of money, guys. Even now, $50 is a lot of money. So thank you, girl. At least I know that you were paying us fairly at the time. And especially for me, as for someone who was starting out. Because I think at that point, I was like 19, 20. So yeah, it was good. And this is my money management skills because I was young and naive. And these are conversations that we never have in our households. And I hope that we're going to do better for our own kids and the people that the young people that are coming up, that we speak about finances as early as possible. If I had had that information, maybe I would have made some better choices with my money. But I know that I was earning a decent amount of money at that time performing. And then I also got to work with people like Gaspi Warrior as well. Yo, kumarasta oko. Guys, I've had just thinking about it, it's been a wild ride, but I wouldn't change a single thing about that gap year. Like, it really opened my eyes and it built my confidence. And I think the little nagging at the back of my mind, that's where it started. Oh yes, even Sebastian Magacha, guys, there's a video that I am in, 1+1. If you go there, you will see me. If you spot me, let me know. But yeah, so shout out to Saba, like absolutely amazing. You're a great performer and artist, and yeah, you keep doing what you're doing, bro. You're doing amazing. um what was I saying? Like, I love giving people their props, guys, because people are doing amazing. I don't even know what our world would be without artists and creatives. So shout out if you're a creative and you're watching this, much respect to you. So yeah, I was saying that it was a really solid foundation, and then that's where the little nagging started to really, like to say, but if you actually dance, you can actually make it. Even though I didn't have an example of what I'm doing now, I didn't have like a blueprint. We would see some people on Facebook. I think that was the time when it was now becoming popular. I'd see some dancers on Facebook. I would see some performers, and I'd be like, oh my gosh, if I could get to perform with a Chris Brown or a Beyonce, like that would be the pinnacle. But where will I find Chris Brown and Beyonce? In my little corner of the world. I'd never say never. Life happens and things work out in mysterious ways. But at the time, I was just like, you know what? It's such an unreachable goal. So I was like, you know what? Let's do the serious thing. Let's follow the life blueprint that we are said to, that, yay, English. Anyway, let's follow the blueprints that we are told that we should follow, especially when we are in school. So since I had studied journalism and mass communication, it only made sense that I go that route. Yes. So this takes me to job number 5. So I got into the media space, and I worked at Capi Talk 100.4 FM. And at the time, the tagline was leading the conversation, the first talk radio in Zimbabwe. And I was the youngest employee there. I mean, I've been doing boss B-ish from the beginning. And guys, like, big ups to me. Like, the Capi Talk experience was an interesting one. I really enjoyed my time on radio because I actually did social media. I presented as well. I would fill in for some people's shows at times, and I learned a lot. And at that point, I just realized that I am the girl that I think I am. And I think I was there for like 9 months. At the 9-month mark, I don't remember if I was headhunted or if I saw an ad, but I remember being reached out to, because at that time I didn't have the guts to actually look for another job. So something happened. I think someone plugged me somewhere, and then I was looked for to then work at Dicom McCann, which is one of the leading advertising agencies in Zimbabwe. So Capi Talk happened. That was job number 5. And the reason why I didn't stay at Capi Talk is that after 9 months, I think I had reached my cap. I then realized that it's always going to be like this. You get it? Like if it's radio is very structured. So you know what you're supposed to do. You know how things are supposed to go. And social media for radio is also very structured because it's very show based. So it's not like now where it's like tabloids and all that, or you can just pick on nyayas and nyayas and nyayas. While back then it wasn't like that. And because we were starting something, it was really solid. And I was literally building the blueprint for their social media and for all of that. And I really enjoyed doing that. And I also enjoyed presenting, guys. Like, I had so much fun. I was working with Karen Paida, KP. Much love to you, Mama. We did the Capital Click together, and that was on Saturdays. And then I remember I would fill in for Tarian Stonya. I don't know if she's still around. I hope she is. Sometimes for her midnight show, and then I would do a Sunday midnight show as well. So I am very comfortable talking by myself, to myself. Yes, because sometimes radio, no one will message you, no one will call you. So I remember sometimes we would have to, like, this is now like a trade secret. You would just have to like fake engagement, just so you keep the show alive to say, oh, thank you so much, Tendai from Greendale. I see your message, and yes, I agree with you, this, that. And yet, you know that there's no Tendai from Greendale. You're just talking to yourself. But hey, you make it till you make it, right? So then I then left radio to pursue advertising as I think I was like an account rep, but on the digital side. I don't even remember the title, guys. This was like back in 2018, 2019. So it's been a bit of a while now. And I did not like being in corporate. The advertising industry was very cutthroat. It was very, competitive. It was very dog eat dog. And for the personality that I have and the kind of person that I am, it just didn't work out for me. And I actually experienced a lot of corporate bullying, and I was undermined a lot in front of clients, and I was just thrown into the deep end and just told to swim. And I didn't even know sometimes, Kuti, what is expected of me, because I wasn't even oriented like that. It was just this is what's there, these are your clients, this is the what's it called, the budget. Like we had, it's not a budget, like, targets. Yes, we had targets. And that was the first time I experienced companies being charged thousands of dollars for services. And I would be like afraid, to say some of these numbers, because it was so foreign to me. Like I would be comfortable, saying, you know what, maybe $100, $50, but now our services cost X thousands of dollars for us to do XYZ. And I was just there like, wow, it was a different beast altogether. But I am so glad that I went through these experiences, because they have contributed to the way I actually run my brand and my business now. Chengetayi is not just a face, it's not just a name. It's a brand, it's a business. And I treat myself as such. I move like that because now I know how to negotiate for myself. I know how to stand up for myself, especially with corporate, because I've been there. I know when an advertising agency says, budget my one, yeah, this, that. You're just like, for real? Like, for real? Sometimes the budget is tight, yes, but it's not as tight as you want us to believe it is as creatives. And because I now have that life experience, I'm just like, you can't close me, bro. I know ball, I know the systems. So creatives, little hack, don't be afraid to charge your worth, and don't be afraid to negotiate within reason. But then if you're going to have to charge even 50% less than your original price, let it go, because then what's the point? So now I also know to maintain my worth and maintain my value, because also I've come a long way. You're hearing where I've come from and where I am now, So it's been years and years and years in the making. So that was job number 6, right? Oh, I've been through a lot of jobs, guys. And then that led me to starting my own brand company. At the time, I had the great idea to start my studio and call it Pineapple Creative Studio. So when I was on radio, I was called Pineapple because prickly on the outside, sweet on the inside. When I was growing up, I was very abrasive. I was very angry. I was hurt. So I had a resting bee face a lot of the times. And I just put up a shell because I didn't want to get hurt. When you've been hurt enough, all you know is to protect yourself. So it was that point where it was just, if you didn't know me, you would think, this person is such a nasty person. But then once you get to know me, then you're like, this person's a sweetheart. Like, so that's where the name Pineapple actually came from. And it's a name I gave to myself. So, as a continuation of that brand, a lot of people still call me Pineapple to this day. So, I guess I did well with the branding on that one. But I then called my studio at the time, of which it wasn't even a studio, guys. It was just me, aiming for the stars. And I'm here for it. Like, dreaming is free, guys. Have the audacity to just put yourselves out there. Because also, no one's going to stop you, And then I started doing my dance classes, under Pineapple Creative Studio. Like, even now, when I do my throwbacks in my videos, like the little tag is there that says at Pineapple Creative Studio. And it's absolutely fantastic. So, and then that has just morphed now into what is the Wellness Connection, because now I'm into fitness. I'm studying to become a systemic family therapist, and I'm interested in all things wellness. So I've never really wanted to just be known as a dancer or just be known as a fitness trainer. I want to be able to do more and be more. So the Wellness Connection is a registered business. Ndiombere Maoko. Woo! Yes, because we are serious. We are out here paying our taxes. We are registered because what? That is what we are supposed to do. If you're running a business, you must be compliant with the laws of the land. It's only right, So, yeah, that is what I have now done for myself. I think that's job number 7. Yes, because the other one was just a hustle. But job number 7. And then I have another job that runs side by side with the Wellness Connection. And this is running socials and media and being an assistant to the amazing Lincoln Mandengu, who actually does my media. He's currently behind the camera right now, and he has his company that is called Inspired Faces of Africa. So in as much as I run my own company, I am also an employee. And I absolutely love it because I get to understand the ins and outs of people management, of media, of camera work, of photography. And I just bring my little zhuzh to the Inspired Faces of Africa experience. So if you've been to some of the events that we have worked at together, you would know that I will probably be the only woman in a sea of men wearing black. Because that's just what it is. It is a very male dominated space, but I really hope that we will start to see more women stepping up and coming into these spaces, because it's actually really fantastic work. And I'm so glad that I get to work with the best of the best. So yeah, that's 8. And who's to say where I am going next? Guys, I am a very hard worker. I am a very good worker. And now we will just leave it here. How many work experiences have you had in your lifetime? And if you are young, if you're in your teens and you're watching this, put yourself out there. Put yourself out there. Don't be afraid to ask. The internet is your friend. If you want to grow, if you want to learn, stalk the people that inspire you in a good way. And then when you pitch yourselves to them, be smart about it. Be smart. Because I've had a lot of people say, oh, I want to do this, I want to do that. Can you please help us? And then I say, okay, at least let's start here. Do this, do that. And then that's it. So don't waste, people who have made it time. Because time is money. Time is important. And if you want someone to take you seriously, then you have to take yourself seriously as well. But yeah, that has been my work experiences. I've been through 8 work and career experiences, and I know this is not the end. I cannot wait to see what the rest of the year has in store for me. I cannot wait to see what the rest of this decade has in store for me. And yeah, keep pushing, guys. Keep showing up and keep being absolutely amazing. We are going to move on and talk about how I then actually seriously got into dance, because I am actually celebrating today. Like yesterday, the 17th of January 2026, I had my biggest class yet. I had 41 people in my class. Like, that is crazy to me because there's times I would walk into an empty studio. There's times people would cancel on me and I have arrived and I still have to pay studio rental. But now I can confidently say I can bring together 41 people and they all have an amazing experience just because I chose to take a risk, on myself, to bet on myself. So that's the conversation that we're going to have next, which is how I then seriously got into dance. So, yeah, dance and then fitness. So these are two very different stories. So I'll try to split everything up so you can follow Shakanaka and Pindani too much. But thank you so much for subscribing. We have 800 subscribers now. Like, I cannot believe it. Like, this is crazy. We were on 500 just yesterday. But thank you so much. I appreciate your love. I appreciate your support. I absolutely love the engagement. Please keep commenting. I love talking to you guys and just hearing your thoughts and what you think and feel about my nyayas. So yeah, I will catch you guys in the next one. And please share with your friends. I love and appreciate you all. Bye.